He is known as the King of Strip, the Master of Sexploitation. He is Mr. Paul Raymond. Good afternoon, Mr. Raymond.
Good afternoon.
And I would think some people would not find those terms really complimentary, to be a sexploiter. Does it anger you, please, or just bore you now?
It doesn't anger me at all, and quite frankly, I don't think it's quite true. What I have done for many years is to present nude shows, but it is not just exploiting the nude female. What one must realize, many other people have done these type of shows in the past. I have made a success of them because I am part of show business. I always have been. And therefore there's a lot more to it than just presenting nude girls. You must entertain as well. So otherwise, thank you for the introduction.
Every time some moralist stands up and says, you are degrading not only women, but the audiences themselves, you don't shuffle along with shame to the bank, weeping all the way.
No way. I think if that were true, then I wouldn't be shuffling to the bank at all. You know, people just wouldn't go to see the shows.
I think one thing that is important to point out is that you have been in show business now for, it's over 40 years, isn't it? You started when you were a kid?
Not quite that, no. I would
30
say,
years, sorry, 30 years.
Thank you very much indeed.
You were a teenager?
Yes, that's true.
What was your first professional act?
Well, I was originally a drummer in a band, a very good one, I must say. And then I became a mind reader. I did a mind reading act on the music halls.
How did you become a mind reader?
I was working on Clacton Pier on one of the amusement stalls, and I met a guy there who had the palmist stall called Mr. Tree, who was part of an act, old music hall act called Mr. and Miss Tree, believe it or believe it not.
I just got it.
Yeah, it took me ages too. He did a mind reading act, you know, the code business, and I was always wanted to be involved with show business, wanted to do an act, and I bought this act from him for £25. So I learnt the code. I then engaged a girl from Manchester with me, and I went round the first place, cinemas in up north, Oswald Twistle, Bottenstall and places like that, which I'm sure you've never heard of. And I booked myself. I went down to these cinemas. In those days they had 2 feature films. And I said, I will do my act free of charge, provided I can sell my horoscopes in interval. So most of these people said, yes, okay. So I did my mind reading act and then did the horoscopes.
Were you any good at the mind reading act?
Well, firstly, I hate mind reading acts. You know, I think it's an absolute load of tripe. And I wasn't too bad. I wasn't as quick as I ought to have been. But I also used to, after the show, at lunchtimes, I used to have private consultations. And we used to charge, I think it was 5 bob in those days, or 2 and 6, I'm not too sure. And there's quite a few people want to know what their future was all about. So
really looking back, even then you were a businessman, the selling of the horoscopes, you were investing your time as a mind reader to make money from selling something else. See, I'm trying to find out when you realized that there was money to be made from naked ladies.
Oh, that's a different story. This came by chance, in fact. When I was doing my mind reading act after that time, when I was doing a single act, simply saying to you, what do you think? And then I would tell you exactly what's on your mind and so on. A trick, of course. And I was touring the number 3 or number 4 music halls, and I went to a theatre just outside Manchester.
What year would this be?
This, I'll tell you, was 1949. Mm-hmm. And I had a show, I think it was called Vaudeville Express. Now, how corny can you be? And this was a series of variety acts, and I was the top of the bill. It was my show, so naturally I must be top of the bill. So we played the Queen's Park Hydro in Manchester, and a fellow called Fred Radley, God rest his soul, said, there's no use coming here, lad, unless you've got nudes. So I changed the title to the Festival of Nudes, and the 2 dancers did a nude spot, one in the first half, one in the second, and they got an extra 10 bob a week for that.
What,
and
10 bob for taking off their clothes?
Yeah, for the week. I think they were getting £5 a week each, so then they got £5, 10 shillings, i.e., which is now 50p, to do this nude spot. And from taking something about £200 and £220 a week, that's the whole take on the whole week. for the theatre as well, I took about £480. And we had girls on the revolve. And we go to Leeds, and the Watch Committee in Leeds wouldn't allow the front view of the girl, nude, going round. And so we had to stop it when she showed the front. And we went to Birmingham the next week, and they wouldn't allow the back view. And this is how ridiculous it all was. But I found out, you see, in those days that one didn't automatically need a Lord Chamberlain's licence. So I ran my shows as I thought they should be run. So it was up to the local Watch Committee to decide. And that was hassle.
You have been quoted as saying something which really does horrify me when you said, and it was not that long ago, I buy girls the way people buy shoes in a shoe shop.
I don't remember saying that. I can't remember honestly saying that. I wouldn't have thought so. I think I have more respect for women as a whole than to pass a remark of that type.
What would you say are the striptease artiste's motives? Is she doing this for money alone?
In most cases, yes. Firstly, of course, striptease is a very old-fashioned word. We don't use it. It's a dirty word to us. And you think of the little tiny Soho strip joints. I'm talking about the Raymond Review Bar now because the Windmill Theatre, the Whitehall Theatre and so on are not striptease entertainment. They are nude entertainment, which is, of course, entirely different than striptease. At the Raymond Review Bar, we call it erotic entertainment, which is a different thing entirely.
It's interesting to me that your erotic entertainment opened in '58, just before the swinging '60s. Yeah. Do you think this was a sort of, you were a precursor, or did you sense a loosening up of moral attitudes? Or were the girls lowering their prices?
Oh no, they're hiding their prices. It all depends what price you are talking about. No, I have been in nude entertainment for many years, and this was a progression, and how the Raymond Review Bar happened, quite frankly, was because of the closure of the music halls. If the music halls had not have closed, I'm sure it would have been Paul Raymond Presents Nude, Naked, Naughty, and all those awful titles of many years ago. But they closed, and I had to find somewhere to survive. I didn't particularly wish to clean the streets or go and work in the gents' loo, although that's one of the best jobs of all if you're out of work. It's free of tax and nobody knows what you earn. No, I had to find something, and this is how the Raymond Review Bar came alive, because I'd already made a name presenting these shows all over the UK. And it was only right, therefore, that I should start my own club, as it was in those days, only to get round the law, which, of course, is not a club anymore, it's now a theatre.
Was it more difficult to recruit, I must get the term correctly, must I, nude erotic dancers in those days than it is now? I mean, people seem to be dropping their clothes at the drop of a checkbook all over the West End.
I don't agree with you. I'd like to know where they are, everybody dropping their clothes, because to find...
In a lot of your theatres.
Yes, but do you know the hard work it is to find the right type of artist? Torquay will say The Windmill, which is a play, and these have all got to be full equity members, believe it or not. And even a girl who just wants to walk on stage for no reason at all, doing a funny gag, and we had an argument with Equity only a few months ago, where I put a non-equity girl in, only because I couldn't find an equity member. Now, Equity will tell you that 85 of their members are out of work. Certainly, in my view, 80% deserve to be out of work, and many of them are refusing jobs, so where do you go?
But you said just 2 minutes ago that the main reason that the girls strip is for money. I thought you were going to say they get some kind of artistic satisfaction, but you were very honest and blunt.
But I am an honest person. Why should I tell you lies?
Then, in a sense, that quote must have been right. You are buying girls.
I didn't make the quote. You said I made the quote.
Well,
I would doubt if I said that, as I told you.
It did appear in the Evening Standard.
Well, look, if you believe everything the press says, which I can't accept.
No, it's just the girls' motives do interest me. Is there, aside from the money, a certain kind of exhibitionism? I mean,
this may well be so too. But you see, there's Section A, Section B, Section C. Section A is the Raymond Review Bar, which is primarily an erotic entertainment where they are doing an erotic act, full stop. And most of these girls are from the continent. They will earn £300, £400, £500 a week, these girls, who are the top in their class. They're doing it primarily to make money, but they also enjoy their job. If not, you know, they couldn't do that every night in the week. Then when you go to the Windmill Theatre, which is a different type of entertainment all told, which is a funny idea with laughs and naked birds, then you will find these are actresses, performers and such like, who are doing it because they like the work, also because they get more money taking their clothes off than they would do keeping them on. The third one, of course, is the typical actor or actress type. Oh, there, you know, well, I couldn't possibly do that. But if you kid them with some great artistic value and some snob director gets involved, I mean, he is probably doing worse than me. He's kidding the girls, it's great art. And they say, oh, well, yes, because we think it's art, we will do it. You know? And you will find it's easier for you to find a girl to do a nude spot on television than it is for me to find them to do it in the theatre.
Then how do you persuade them?
We don't persuade anybody at all. We simply say, this is the job, that's what it's all about, do you want it? Some want it and some don't.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Do you look upon women generally as a sort of, have they just become box office fodder to you?
I would say you must say, firstly, women on a stage are not different to women as we see them in the street and talking. As any other artist is, don't forget, not only just because it's a new girl, it can be a man, it can be a comic, it can be a juggler, it can be a tightrope walker. They are a commodity to buy for the entertainment, full stop. Once they leave that stage, then it's a different thing. Then you become involved with them as people or involvement. But you see, what you're trying to say is, because it's a nude girl, you are exploiting that person. But aren't you being exploited at the present time by Thames TV?
They're paying me, I hope.
Well, I pay my girls too.
I'll check after the program.
Yeah, I pay my girls. You know, so really, you see, one mustn't fall into this trap. Because somebody takes their clothes off, they're being exploited. If you keep your clothes on, you're not.
Well, perhaps the audience's own weakness is being exploited. People have suggested that it's only sexual inadequates who get their kicks from seeing nude ladies.
Well, people may say that, but that is an absolute load of codswobble, or whatever they call the word. Certainly, I love to see nude birds. You know, what's wrong with it? I mean, I'm a man, you know, and I like to look at the nude birds. I would be very concerned if I didn't like to look at nude birds, then I may be queer.
Is this one of the reasons that your marriage ended in divorce quite recently, the peculiarities of your profession?
I would say no. My ex-wife, who is a super girl who lives in the States, we are more friendly now, I think, than we've ever been. I think one would like to make that excuse, but I think it would only be an excuse, quite frankly.
I know your daughter Debbie is in show business. She's a singer.
Yeah.
Your son is, what, about 14?
My son is... was 16 last week, and he is in public school in Britain at the moment. He leaves school at the end of this year, and he feels he should leave at 16. And I say, as I left when I was 15, I see there's no useful purpose in him staying in school to waste his time, my cash, and the school's time. It's better for him to leave and to learn about the world.
Do you want him to follow in your footsteps?
It doesn't worry me at all. I would be a fool to force him.
How many of your shows has he seen?
I would say he's probably seen them all, right from when he was 3, 4 years of age.
And at his public school, he's never ashamed of saying, my daddy presents erotic, nude entertainment?
On the contrary, all the boys chat to him. You know, let's not kid ourselves. In the school, they've got Men Only, and they've got Club International, and all these magazines, and so they should have. And the schools allow them to put the pin-up photographs on the walls in the dormitories. I think it's a marvellous free-thinking idea. At least in boys' public schools now, at least they know the girls exist. Where years ago, they were thrown into the world and said, oh, there's a girl. And didn't know what to do with the poor thing, you know.
Looking over your career, it seems to me that, in a sense, you're an investor or a gambler. I mean, that first little investment of buying the code for £25, that was a lot of money in those days. you've invested a great deal, but you have had your disasters, haven't
Sure.
you?
I'm very happy to say I have. You know, I would be an awful man if everything I did came right.
What was your
What a bore I would be.
greatest disaster, do you think? Financially speaking, not personally.
Well, I think financial disasters are more important to me than personal disasters.
Boy, are you honest.
I think that the Royalty, I know, the Royalty Follies, which was my biggest ambition in life, was to bring a Palace Lido show to the West End, which cost me £410,000, which was my money, no other outside investor, nobody at all.
That's almost £500,000.
Over
I
half a
have to
million.
think of things that way. £500,000.
And that was spent and lost on this fantastic show. And it came off after 18 weeks or whatever it was. I was very upset about it because it was an ambition that I wanted to do. But, you know, we can't always get everything we want in life. And I've still got costumes worth fortunes, you know, there. I will never do it again, but there we are. What can you do?
Upset about losing all this money. Was there not another upset? Did you get a little bit nervous that you might be losing your grasp of what the public wants?
No way.
You are confident you know exactly what the public wants?
Oh, I wouldn't say exactly, no. I would say that I know what the public wants. Exactly is a different thing, because I know what my public want to see, but this is not probably the type of public that will want to see Shakespeare, Billy Smart's actual circus, or whatever. It's a particular branch of show business, and I have made my little slot there and said, this is what I'm doing, and I'm not going to do Shakespeare, opera, ballet, or whatever.
So both your moral and financial guidelines are give the public what they want?
Yeah.
Now, if you had been living in Roman times, would you have been supplying Christians to the lions or lions to the Christians?
I
Because
can't
that's
answer
what the
that
public
because I didn't live
wanted.
in those days.
But it's the same morality, surely.
Oh no, I'm not giving the public exactly what they want or what certain people. I mean, I draw a line, and I certainly, sex-wise, do draw a line, and I do believe that I would have said a year ago anybody over 18 shouldn't see these shows. I would now say anyone under 16 shouldn't see these shows. But certainly things like flagellation, bestiality, and things of that type, no way, because that doesn't become entertainment to me anymore. See, what you must realise, Elaine, is I'm primarily a showman.
Well, this brings us to your newest diversification, and that is your two magazines, Men Only and Club International. Now, I don't think you can call them entertainment.
Well, what else are they? I think they're superb entertainment.
Well,
I mean, we don't,
for solitary voyeurs, you mean?
Oh, rubbish.
Well, people don't get together in a happy audience and say, oh, let's riffle through Men Only, or if they do, they're rather odd.
I wouldn't have thought so. I think they're superb. We've always said they are entertainment magazines.
For solitary individuals?
No. Many people, they take them home, they go to schools. See, once you fall into this dreadful trap, let me finish, please, whereby, you know, somebody buys it and they put a raincoat across their knees and say, oh, I love to read Men Only or Club. Rubbish. You are really thinking of 20 years ago. Because the young guys buy these things today.
I'm thinking of right now, when you said you would not like under 18s to come into your exotic entertainment.
No, I said under 18 years ago, I'd say 16.
These magazines are seen in local shops.
Would you read what
by
it says there?
8-year-olds.
Not to be sold to people under 18.
No, but
which I say,
they're
not the law.
displayed in local shops.
All right, so what?
Now, does this not worry you that 8-year-olds are so used to seeing naked women?
Yeah.
They've grown up with this, that they're more interested in buying their chocolate bars.
That is what I'm scared about.
Your kind of show will be dead in 15 years.
Of course, this type of thing has been said to me for 20-odd years.
You're telling me I'm a bore?
No, on the contrary. I think you're a very, very charming person, Elaine, and it's a great pleasure for you to
No, you don't have to do that. I mean, these questions must be asked.
Yes, well, I'm replying to you. 20-odd years ago, people said to me, oh, Paul, you know, we've seen it all. What's it all about? save your money, get out quick and do something else. Honestly, please believe me, provided there's a man and a woman on this earth, sex is here to stay.
I don't doubt that sex is here to stay. It's the way you make money out of sex that might change. I mean,
I'm not making money out of sex particularly, I'm making money out of entertainment. As I said, Men Only and Clem International are entertainment magazines. Sure, you may have see some beautiful birds who are nude in possibly very explicit situations, but it's still entertainment. I love to look at nude birds.
When you go abroad and you have your passport with you, what do you put?
Impresario.
What is your occupation? An impresario.
Yeah.
Do you feel that, in a sense, you've wasted your obvious business sense, your obvious energy? You know, that you should have been building bridges or making the railways make a profit.
I don't know how to build a bridge. I'm sure had I wished to go into that particular profession, maybe I could have built very good bridges. But I have always been interested in show business. It's my life, it's my love. And now as a publisher of 2 great magazines for men, and we are selling in the USA now over 1,200,000 of Men Only, so it shows that people want this. No, I honestly believe whatever I planned to have done years ago, I would have made a success of. But I have enough sense to know that I cannot do 4 or 5 things. If I decide that show business is what I want to do, then I will make a success of it. But please remember, I have done pantomimes, I have done stereophonic sound shows, I have done non-nude shows. It so happens, and I'm very pleased to say, I have made my name, and it is in fact my forte, I suppose, to present nude entertainment. And I just know how to do it.
One thing we haven't talked about in any depth at all is many people feel that the girls, the women artists, it is their right to choose, that the audience is being titillated, that the audience is being, in a sense, equally degraded.
Yeah,
Who is your audience?
Well, firstly, you said that before, and I'm saying, firstly, the audience are not being degraded.
But who is the audience?
Yes, and I'm also saying the artists on stage are not being. Now, then you are saying who is the actual audience. The audience is the mass people of the UK, mostly. I'm talking about the Windmill now. And you have men coming with their wives, parties of females, and we had a party, I think it was 30 women, was it 2 weeks ago, and we had a marvellous comic or actor called John Inman, who was in a television show called, I don't know what it was called anyhow, but he's very well known. And he came out of the show and they came to see him. And he was in this nude entertainment, and these women were very upset when they went in. They said, oh, Trade Descriptions Act and so on, you should have told us. And we said, it's not the John Inman show, it is Let's Get Laid. They came out and they said, we have never enjoyed ourselves, never laughed so much in our lives. That is the type of audience we have.
Can I ask you finally, Mr. Raymond, is there anything in your life, aside from losing money, that can really upset you and get through to you and hurt you?
Hurt me? I suppose if anything happened to my daughter and my son, that would hurt me very deeply. Apart from that, I don't really think so. If my girlfriend became ill or left me, I think I would be very upset.
But no hard names will hurt you or break your bones. Paul Raymond,
No way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.